no one seems to notice me. Isn't it a sin? What a crazy world we're living in. How's your father? How's your father? Brown bread. So, I heard something today that has absolutely made my blood boil. The BBC have decided that they are going to launch a subscription style monetization. It's going to cost about £4 a month, so 48 quid a year. And why does that make me wild, you ask yourself? Because they're releasing it in Canada and the USA. Not over here, in Canada and the USA. Selling our stuff that we've bought and paid for through the ridiculous 170 odd quid a year that they are charging at the moment for the license. And they are now monetizing that, getting yet another revenue stream above the £4.5 billion a year that they get from the license fee by selling a subscription style thing to Canada and America. You couldn't make this stuff up. You really, really couldn't. And it's all the best stuff. Look, I mean, the BBC doesn't make any good stuff anymore anyway. It's all absolute fifth division crap. All woke stuff, all politically correct stuff. And I know we're not allowed to say this sort of thing, and believe me, I'm by no means racist by any stretch of the imagination, but how on earth are we supposed to take the BBC seriously when they have just cast a black lady actor in the role of Anne Boleyn? She was a white historic figure murdered by Henry VIII, and she was white. So like I say, you couldn't even make it up. I think what annoys me more than anything else is that the BBC for a long, long while have been a dreadful, dreadful organisation. It's never been particularly well run. The last 20 years has seen nothing of any value come from them. Their news is unbelievably biased. They have... Their idea of journalism is the modern idea of journalism. A journalist is supposed to journal things that happen, not add their own take to it, just write things like a journal. This is what happened, this is how it happened. But we're increasingly seeing, not only on the TV, but in newspapers as well, journalists, and maybe it's the editors that are forcing them to do it, to put their own slant on various stories. We've had 4 years of it with Trump. Not going to get into that. Well, I probably will at some point on this channel, but of very carefully editing what you see, certain speeches that he made where they've taken out the bits that could be construed as being a little bit inflammatory. But then when you see the whole thing, and it's not difficult to find it on the internet, in actual fact, what he said wasn't what they've turned it into. And the BBC are masters of doing this. But they are also very good at putting people in as a director general. I can't remember this guy's name. He's another pillock, basically, who seem to think that they can pull the wool over your eyes. And it's like they move stuff. BBC Studios is a private company. Although it's got the BBC badge, it's actually a profit-making organisation that turns over about £1 billion a year by reselling the stuff that we've already paid for once. So Gold, TV Gold, Dave, all of those type of channels are owned by BBC Studios. So they've already had it for nothing because we've paid the license fee, and that's what's actually created the ability for them to make these programs. So now they've got all this free content that they are putting on commercial channels via Sky and Freeview, which they then sell advertising in. And if you'd like to check out the ratings of those particular channels on the Barb ratings out there for all the world to see, they are making a tidy few quid, which enables them to pay the obscene salaries to insignificant plebs like Lineker and Zoe Ball. And I actually quite like Zoe Ball, to be fair, but she ain't worth the money that they're paying her. They are always embroiled in pay disputes where there's allegedly a pay gap between the male and female members of staff, and there probably is, but the BBC seem to always get away with it. At what point of the campaign do we say enough is enough? The BBC are robbing us blind. They are not fit for purpose. They're not a particularly good producer of programmes. They are certainly a foul judge of character when it comes to some of the people that they've got presenting their programmes. And I just think, when it was back into last year or 18 months ago when they announced that they was then going to start striping up our over 75s, I think they've had to throw that one in the garbage, because the liberties that they took with that, with knocking on people's doors and threatening to lock old age pensioners up, is a good job. Don't take this the wrong way, but I'm thankful that my dear old mum and dad are not with us, because believe me, they would have bitten off more than they would have been able to chew if they'd have knocked on their door, because my mum and dad would have torn to pieces. God rest them. But yes, enough is enough, and I think we've all got to start shouting louder and louder and louder to say we need this vile organisation defunded, a just cause for defunding, get shot of them, force them to do what all the rest of the people have to do that want to have television channels and make their own future. And let's see how long they'll last with their endless stream of rubbish radio stations, with their pointless BBC World Service. Let's see how long they last if they got to stand on their own 2 feet. Be interested to hear what your views are. Comments below.
How's your father? Brown bread.